Japanese to be sufficiently worn down by land combat attrition to surrender. By that time, 1 million American casualties was the expected price. Jones observes that the forthcoming invasion of Kyushu was well into its collecting and stockpiling stages before the war ended. The island of Saipan was designated a main ammunition and supply base for the invasion, and if you go there today you can see some of the assembled stuff still sitting there. The assault troops were chosen and already in training, Jones reminds his readers, and he illuminates by the light of experience what this meant. What it must have been like to some old-timer buck sergeant or staff sergeant who had been through Guadalcanal and Bougainville or the Philippines to stand on some beach and watch this huge war machine beginning to stir and move all around him and know that he very likely had survived this far only to fall dead on the dirt of Japan's home islands hardly bears thinking about. Another bright enlisted man, this one an experienced Marine destined for the assault on Honshu, adds his testimony. Former Private First Class E.B. Sledge, author of the splendid memoir With the Old Breed at Peleliu and Okinawa, noticed at the time that the fighting grew more vicious the closer we got to Japan, with the carnage of Iwo Jima and Okinawa worse than what had gone before. He points out that what we had experienced, my emphasis, in fighting the Japs, pardon the expression, on Peleliu and Okinawa, caused us to formulate some very definite opinions that the invasion would be a ghastly bloodletting. It would shock the American public and the world. Every Japanese soldier, civilian, woman, and child would fight to the death with whatever weapons they had, rifle, grenade, or bamboo spear. The Japanese pre-invasion patriotic song 100 Million Souls for the Emperor, says Sledge, meant just that. Universal national kamikaze was the point. One kamikaze pilot, discouraged by his unit's failure to impede the Americans very much despite the bizarre casualties it caused, wrote before diving his plane onto an American ship, "I see the war situation becoming more desperate. All Japanese must become soldiers and die for the Emperor." Sledge's 1st Marine Division was to land close to the Yokosuka Naval Base, one of the most heavily defended sectors of the island. The Marines were told, he recalls, that due to the strong beach defenses, caves, tunnels, and numerous Jap suicide torpedo boats and manned mines, few Marines in the first 5 assault waves would get ashore alive. My company was scheduled to be in the 1st and 2nd waves. The veterans in the outfit felt we had already run out of luck anyway. We viewed the invasion with complete resignation that we would be killed either on the beach or inland. And the invasion was going to take place, there's no question about that. It was not theoretical or merely rumored in order to scare the Japanese. By July 10, 1945, the pre-landing naval and aerial bombardment of the coast had begun, and the battleships Iowa, Missouri, Wisconsin, and King George V were steaming up and down the coast, softening it up with their 16-inch shells. On the other hand, John Kenneth Galbraith is persuaded that the Japanese would have surrendered surely by November without an invasion. He thinks the A-bombs were unnecessary and unjustified because the war was ending anyway. The A-bombs meant, he says, a difference at most of 2 or 3 weeks. But at the time, with no indication that surrender was on the way, the kamikazes were sinking American vessels, the Indianapolis was sunk, 880 men killed, and Allied casualties were running to over 7,000 per week. 2 or 3 weeks, says Galbraith. 2 weeks more means 14,000 more killed and wounded, 3 weeks more, 21,000. Those weeks mean the world if you're one of those thousands or related to one of them. During the time between the dropping of the Nagasaki bomb on August 9th and the actual surrender on the 15th, the war pursued its accustomed course. On the 12th of August, 8 captured American flyers were executed, heads chopped off. The 51st United States submarine Bonefish was sunk, all aboard drowned. The destroyer Callahan went down, the 70th to be sunk, and the destroyer escort Underhill was lost. That's a bit of what happened in 6 days of the 2 or 3 weeks posited by Galbraith. What did he do in the war? He worked in the Office of Price Administration in Washington. I don't demand that he experience having his ass shot off. I merely note that he didn't.